The United States has not only dispatched a state-of-the-art Ford aircraft carrier strike group to deal with the poor and backward Palestine, but now it is also dispatching an Eisenhower aircraft carrier strike group to support Israel. The goal of this measure is not just against Palestine, but against possible armed intervention by the entire Arab countries, including Russia and other countries. If the United States measures can be successfully implemented, what impact will it have on the war? Welcome to World Hotspot, where you will be able to learn about projects, cooperation around the world, and important information about China. I hope you can subscribe to me. Let us discover more interesting things around the world together. According to reports from the American media ABC, the Pentagon ordered the dispatch of a second aircraft carrier strike group, the USS Eisenhower, to near Israel on the 15th. In fact, the aircraft carrier battle group left the United States on Saturday for Israel. Therefore, in the near future, the United States will have dual aircraft carrier battle groups in the Mediterranean and in the waters near Israel, which represents the most powerful strategic-level deterrence capability of the United States. However, what the dual aircraft carrier battle group faces are the Palestinian people in the Gaza Strip who are being severely bombed by Israel? Or is it Hamas, a tiny organization in the Gaza Strip? In fact, we all know that in a head-on confrontation, the Palestinian Hamas organization cannot even compete with the Israeli regular army, let alone an aircraft carrier battle group. Sending a Ford-class aircraft carrier is already the face the United States gives to Israel. So why do we need to send another aircraft carrier battle group? The purpose of the United States is simple: to exert pressure and demonstrate strength. According to information disclosed by the U.S. Central Command, the main purpose of the United States sending a Ford-class aircraft carrier strike group to Israel is to deter forces that attempt to escalate or expand the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. Therefore, the purpose of the United States is very simple and clear: to support Israel and deter any country that attempts to interfere in the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. As long as other Arab countries do not interfere, the war will be limited to Israel and Palestine. The ultimate winner must be Israel, and the defeat of Palestine is only a matter of time. Secondly, in this land, all events are controlled by Israel due to its control of news media, network communications, freshwater resources, and fuel. Western media will only report on attacks on Israel by Hamas and the massive death tolls. Reports of bombings and civilian casualties in the Gaza Strip are almost invisible in the popular media. Although the Ford aircraft carrier battle group has arrived in Israel, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict continues to escalate. Israel began to blatantly continue to invade and occupy Palestinian-controlled areas and even plan large-scale relocations, which aroused condemnation from international public opinion. To put it simply, Israel is actually going to form a war cabinet and require the 1.1 million residents in the northern Gaza Strip to move to the southern area within 24 hours. This requirement is extremely inhumane, as even a 1.1 million-strong army marching a long distance requires sufficient time and preparation, let alone those Gaza refugees who bring their families and may even have illnesses and disabilities. More importantly, the Gaza Strip is currently experiencing shortages of supplies and is constantly being bombed. This means that if the migration was carried out according to the time, method, and route required by Israel, only 3/4 of the people may be able to reach the southern Gaza Strip. Not to mention that Israel continues to use a series of internationally banned weapons, including white phosphorus bombs, against densely populated areas of Gaza. Its methods are so cruel that they are outrageous. Not to mention that when the refugees arrive in southern Gaza, they will inevitably crowd out the living and survival space of the Palestinian people in the south. Life in the Gaza Strip, already densely populated, will become even more difficult. Once there are no Palestinian people in the vacated area, it will inevitably be occupied by Israel. After several battles, Israel can actually occupy more Palestinian territory through war. Therefore, war is only one of the means for Israel. The sudden attack on Israel by Hamas was just a tactic and a script. Some even suspect that Israel deliberately relaxed its vigilance in order to be attacked after receiving warnings from US and Egyptian intelligence services. The purpose of this is to continue to invade Palestinian territory and expand the area under its actual control. This method will inevitably trigger strong opposition and dissatisfaction among the Arab people. So what are the consequences of this? If only Israel participates, it may lead to the outbreak of the Sixth Middle East War. However, this time the United States directly dispatched 2 aircraft carrier battle groups to the Mediterranean. Its attack range directly included various surrounding Arab countries, putting the entire territory of Israel within the attack range. Therefore, many countries are in a state of dare to be angry but dare not speak out. In fact, Israel has won favor in many Arab countries through the normalization of Arab-Israeli relations, but countries such as Hezbollah and Iran are still Israel's mortal enemies, especially Lebanon. Therefore, Israel's main purpose of asking the United States to dispatch an aircraft carrier battle group is to deter Iran and Lebanon, prevent these 2 countries from acting rashly, and avoid directly sending ground troops to support Israel. Otherwise, Israel will face greater losses and greater pressure. It was precisely after receiving support from the United States that the Israel Defense Forces announced that it would take wider ground military operations in the Gaza Strip with the goal of destroying Hamas and launch coordinated land, sea and air operations. Facing the Gaza Strip, which has lost air and sea control, it is only a matter of time before the Israeli army destroys Hamas in Gaza. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu also stated that Israel's military operations have received broad support from the international community. And this is just the beginning. They will end the war in a stronger way. This tough approach is actually based on the suffering of the Palestinian people and the seizure of their homeland. After all, the Golan Heights, previously occupied by Israel, has still not been returned to Palestine. In general, Israel's purpose is very clear. They used Hamas's attack to declare a state of war, start the so-called Sixth Middle East War, completely defeat Hamas, occupy northern Gaza, and even the entire Gaza zone. However, Israel's actions will inevitably trigger protests in the Arab world and tough treatment from Lebanon and Iran. Therefore, in order to achieve results at the minimum cost, Israel sought the support of the United States and dispatched 2 major aircraft carrier battle groups to deter Arab countries from intervening. This can be said to be full of fake power.